Greetings to everybody. We're just delighted to have you all here with us tonight on this joyful event. What is a joyful event for us? As you know, I'm Jan Worth Nelson, the editor of East Village Magazine, and this handsome man here is my husband, Ted Nelson, with sun shining on his face. Ted Nelson is editor at large of the magazine, and he's my partner in many adventures. He's the person that does the layout and many support functions, and also wrote the narrative for both of these videos that you're about to see. And I wanted to mention that our host and producer is Josh Kennedy, and our webmaster is Dean Paxton for the work that's been done on eastvillagemagazine.org. So we want to thank both of you very much for that. As you all know, EVM is a nonprofit community journalism publication that's been around for 44 years. It was founded and published for 39 of those years by the legendary Gary Custer, who died in 2015, and we continue to miss him. We are, as you know, a beautiful black and white monthly, but we also post many stories online every week, and we hope if you haven't found us at eastvillagemagazine.org that you'll check us out. None of us at East Village Magazine are full-time. None of us are on a salary, and all of us care deeply about our community, its people, our neighbors, and about telling our stories. This project is a reflection, I think, of those passions. So we're going to introduce you to a lot of folks as part of this evening's program. But first, I wanted you to hear from Ted, who will share with us some of the background of this project. Some of you have heard part of this story, but you all need to hear it right now. So Ted?
Okay.
We're going to just make it so he can see. There we go.
Just raise that a little to the right. That's fine.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Greetings. Can you see me okay? Okay. In 1968, as one of the organizers of the Poor People's Campaign under Martin Luther King Jr., I was delivering a talk about why caravans of poor people from all across the country were making their way to DC. Many of you who know me are familiar with this story. They were coming to protest and educate our fellow Americans on the issues of poverty, racism, income inequality, and the war in Vietnam. Now, do any of these issues sound familiar? My audience was approximately 200 all-white adults in a Catholic church in Virginia. A few minutes into my presentation, a man ran up the main aisle, leapt over the altar rail, and laid me out with a powerful blow to my face. I directed the Volunteer Speakers Bureau for the campaign, and similar violence was experienced by several other speakers on my staff. In response, we created a short slideshow made up of facial shots of many of the caravan participants coming to DC. Human faces shown with a background of a popular song from the time. Actually, it was The Sounds of Silence by Simon and Garfunkel. Strangely and happily, showing this short slide show as a mood piece before our talks reduced the violence we were experiencing almost completely. Flash forward 50 years. I described the slideshow to two friends who are also Flint natives and artists. Dan White, a Pulitzer Prize-winning photographer, and William Harvey, a violinist currently working as concertmaster to the National Symphony Orchestra of Mexico. Along with Jan, EVM editor, the group was taken by the idea and decided to collaborate on a modern version of that slideshow. Basically, in this time of deep discord, division, and danger, the goal of the film was and is to advance the basic message of human connection, community, and oneness. Together we are better. That and the fundamental value and importance of our vote. The name of the film is Faces of Flint, a message from the anvil of America's democracy. As we stand here ankle deep in the ashes of our own history, bent but not broken, we do have something to say. First, we are the anvil of America's democracy. We have been pounded on, and our values have been tempered by our struggles. Flint has an incredible history of firsts in this country. Flint is the city where organized labor got its real start. Flint is the city that created the middle class. Flint is the city that gave us the first Black mayor in the country. Flint is the city that gave us the first open housing ordinance in the United States of America. And Flint is the city that was the first to be poisoned by its own government. This is the background of this filmic effort. And Jan, back to you.
Okay. All right. Could you see him while he was reading his remarks? You could. Okay, great. Okay. Thank you, Ted. A lot of people see humanity in a face. A face is a monument. I hate to use that word these days with all this controversy about monuments, but a face in a way is a reflection of who we are. The face tells everything, some might say. How ironic it is that in these times when we so much need to value and act upon our common humanity, we have to cover those very faces. These portraits by Dan White were taken in November at the Flint Farmers Market in Burston Fieldhouse before the pandemic, making it all the more special to us. Because we've been sort of hungry to see each other's faces. These two short videos you're going to see tonight, one is 6 minutes put together by our filmmaker Justin Brown during the pandemic, and one is 10 minutes, mostly made before the pandemic. Now, I feel the need to say a couple things. What you won't see here is a documentary about Flint. We don't offer in this project facts and figures. What you won't see here is a story about the water crisis, though we do think you might see some of the stress of it in our faces. You'll see that in parts, these two videos are identical, but in the second video, the narrative is longer and a different voice, that of our Flint Poet Laureate, Samaj Brown, who's with us tonight. We're so delighted to have her. And you'll see many more faces in that second video. So now we're going to take a look. After the first video, we'll pause to acknowledge and thank some people, and then we'll view the second video, followed by a wrap up and the opportunity for comments and questions. So Josh, we're ready to go to the first video.
All right.
In the history of the United States, the city and citizens of Flint, Michigan have been the anvil upon which America's most basic values have been tempered. The faces of Flint, our faces, reflect the soul of the nation. The Americans, we are you. The world has changed, and we are changing. We live in a time of deep discord, division, and danger. Our precious democracy withers under the strain of conflicted and opposing values. Who are we as Americans? What do we stand for? What can we do? Our message from Flint, a message honed through blood and history, a message we have learned the hard way. The value of our vote. One human, one vote. The foundation of our democracy. Look into our eyes. See our humanity. Hear our message.
Ours is a simple faith. Life is a short embrace. Heaven is in this place every day. Hope is the ground we till. Make each day what you will. Thankful for dreams fulfilled every day. There is no hell to fear, no judgment day drawing near. Trust that inner voice you hear every day. Life's not a goal or race. It's about heart and faith and living a life of grace every day. Ours is a simple faith.
Okay, so that's the first one. Did everybody hear it okay? Did it come through?
Jan, if I might interject for just a second. The next time, for the next video, if everyone could shut off their video, you get more bandwidth and it works better.
Okay. And Javon, did you see yourself there?
Say yes.
Yes.
We saw.
What you finna have for dinner? I was
Yes.
snaggled too.
Yeah, you were snaggled too.
Oh, okay.
And George, I hope you saw yourself there. I know you're muted.
All right then. Now, we didn't do nothing today, just lay around. Well, you know, Trish had to go to work today. And yeah, she had a lot of work to do.
Ah.
So
Well, okay, so I just wanted to say, I don't know, is Justin Brown with us? Are
yeah,
you with us tonight, Justin? I don't think he is.
they're looking, you know, just all that. I don't know, you know, the kids about them.
Okay, can we mute?
That's what they say and everything. You know, I don't be.
Ms. Reed, would you mind muting your, oh, you're already muted, okay. Okay, so is Dan White with us by any chance? He was thinking he might come with us. He's not there. Eric McIntyre, you were with us, right? Is Eric there? Eric was who played America the Beautiful at the beginning. So thank you for that, Eric. William Harvey was thinking of joining us from Mexico, but I don't know if he made it. That's who was playing that beautiful rendition of the Star Spangled Banner. And if you want to know that whole story later, we can tell you. David Tamulevich from Mustard's Retreat, did you make it to join us tonight? I don't think he did. Tom Travis is our assistant editor. Tom, do you want to say hi in the intermission? Is Tom there? Where's Tom?
I don't think you're getting anybody.
I'm not getting anybody, yeah. Patsy Eisenberg really helped us. Patsy's one of our writers who's really helped us all the way along. Is Harold Ford with us? Harold, if you're there, unmute yourself and say hi. No, okay. Are there any other EVM writers that are with us? Oh, Madeline, I think, is with us, Madeline Graham. I wanted to mention that.
Yeah, Jan, I'm here, and so are some of the other people that have
Okay.
that you've mentioned. You just haven't spotted them.
Okay.
David
Good.
Tamulevich is here.
Okay, very good. Hello, David. Glad to have you. He wrote that fantastic song that
Yeah,
we
it was very nice.
and you're going to hear it again in the second video. And Ed is here. Felicia Booker, are you with us? Or I don't see her. Jack Miner was thinking, oh, hey, David. There you are. Folks, this is David Tamulevich, who wrote Ours is Simple Faith. He's from Mustard's Retreat. David, we are so delighted to have you with us because that really added to our production. So thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Yes, and what a beautiful film. What beautiful faces. I mean, it is. Well, it's an honor, and it's such a moving video.
Well, you're going to see more of them in the second one. So hang on, stay with us. Bob Thomas is here. Alec Gibbs is busy with ACLU calling the city clerk to account. So I don't think he's with us. But I want to say, Alec, as a board member, how fantastic he is. And we're really glad to have him on board.
And I think I saw Jeff and Darlene.
Oh, Jeff and Darlene are there somewhere. So hello.
Jan,
Yeah, go.
William Harvey is here.
William.
Hey, guys.
Well, hey, hi, Jeff and Darlene. And can we say hi to William Harvey too? Where's William? From Mexico. Where is he? Can somebody find him?
Hear me.
There you are, William.
Hey,
we're so glad to have you join us.
Great to be here.
Now, you guys know that William was born on Montclair Street in Michigan, or in Flint, I mean. What was the address? I forget, 1801 or something.
1910 Montclair, November
1910.
14th, 1982.
We have the same birthday, right? That's right.
Also 1982, right?
Yeah, right. I was born in 82, about plus minus about 30. So William, your rendition of the Star Spangled Banner, it just breaks our heart every time we hear it.
Thank you. It's an honor to be part of the project. And I have to say, since leaving Flint when I was 4 years old, I think this project really helped me feel an emotional connection to my birthplace that I really wanted to feel. So I'm very grateful for the opportunity to participate.
Oh, we're so glad. You know, a lot of people have mixed feelings about the Star Spangled Banner.
Yeah.
And what I'm glad of is that your version, of course, there's no words to it, so we don't have to hear the part about the bombs and everything. But it sort of captures to me the sort of heart-wrenching state that the country's in.
Well, it ends in a quieter, humbler way, and sort of begins in the same framework as well. And I wanted that. I didn't want something that would be unrelentingly bombastic, because as you remember, I originally made the arrangement for that 50-state tour I did in 2016, What is American Culture?
Yeah. We're so glad to have you here. Wow, that's great.
Great to be here.
Is there anybody else that wants to declare themselves as who is here? Tom, did you see anybody else that we need to acknowledge? Tom Travis? That's so great. Okay. I do want to mention, we always mention our funders. I'm not sure if they made it tonight, but there were maybe some people from the Community Foundation were going to join us. They gave us some wonderful funding for our post-production work, and we're very grateful for that. Stephanie Whitledge might be here somewhere. And the League of Women Voters supported us initially. That's our initial kick that we got. Linda Hoff was part of that. Bob Thomas and Ingrid Halling, who are with us, there's fantastic Flint residents. If you don't know them, you need to get to know them. You two have just made such a difference in this town, and we love you, and thank you for the support that you've given to East Village Magazine, not to mention numerous other things in this city. Our very first donor for this project was Dr. Bobby McCumilla, who I knew wasn't going to be able to be with us tonight, but I just wanted to note that he was the first, when we first started our fundraising for this project, he was the first one to give us money. And so I wanted to thank him.
Jan,
Yeah.
Amy Krug is here representing the Community Foundation.
The Community Foundation?
Amy
Okay.
Krug.
Yeah, Amy, do you want to say hi? Okay.
No, thank you. I'm trying to wrestle twin 3-year-old toddlers, so it's not a pretty sight, but thank you. Well done.
Okay. All right. We're very happy to have you here. Good luck with the toddlers. Okay. Well, the other thing I wanted to mention was the members of the class of Amherst 1964. That was Ted's class at Amherst College. He graduated in 1964. And as many of you know, that group of men, it was all men as it happens, although one has become transgender woman since then, which I think is a great sign of progress. They donated generously to this particular project. There's about 15 of them, I think, right, that donated money. So we want to thank the Amherst class of 64. And I do think we've got Ted's son, Jesse Nelson, there. So we want to say hello to Ted's son, Jesse. Thank you for joining us from LA. Stay safe there, darling.
Sending love from California.
Yeah, thank you. It's nice to see you. Nice beard, by the way. Okay, I think we're ready to see the second video. Now, I do want to say this video is in many ways identical to the first, but with several substantial differences too. It starts out the same, but in this case, we have Samaj as the narrator, and there's many more photos, and it's a longer narration. And at the end of it, we could talk about why we have these two versions. But the other thing you're going to notice is that this video was made really before the pandemic, where the first one was made during the pandemic. So there's some differences there. Is there anything else you want to say about it?
No, eventually you can tell them how they can access it at the East Village Magazine website.
Right. So after we're done with the second video, we'll tell you, Josh is going to tell you how you can access both of them. We hope that people will use them for whatever reason. It'll be free on YouTube or through the East Village Magazine site. If you think that it's inspiring, if it helps, if you think it will help for people to see these to prepare for the November election, even in Flint, we've got an election next week. So we'll tell you more about that after seeing the second video. So Josh, I think we're ready for the second video.
In the history of the United States, the city and the citizens of Flint, Michigan have been the anvil upon which America's most basic values have been tempered. The faces of Flint, our faces, reflect the soul of a nation. We are Americans. We are you. Some of us are rich, many are poor, and all of us pursue happiness and meaning in this brief and problematic life. Our colors cover the spectrum. We come in many shapes, sizes, talents, sexual identities, and beliefs. Yet we are Americans all, and our hearts pump the red blood of freedom. We believe in the human family, and we believe in love. We are of all religions, and we are of no religions. We are Americans. We are a work in progress. We live in a time of deep discord, division, and danger. Our very existence on this earth is threatened. Our precious democracy withers under the strain of conflicted and opposing values. Who are we as Americans? What are our values? What do we stand for? What does it mean to be a citizen of the United States of America? As human beings, we are by nature contentious, to say the least. As we bump and weave through our brief appearance on life's stage, our steps strike sparks. To contain our more brutish impulses, we humans, we Americans, have come up with one of the simplest, fairest, most elegant, and most sacred methods for deciding upon our values, laws, and government. Our vote. The foundation of our democracy. One human, one vote. Even more important is what each of us brings to the vote. At best, we bring the full measure of our human capacity, our values, our knowledge, our intelligence, and our goodwill. We owe this to ourselves. We owe this to our brothers and sisters. And we owe this to humanity. When we have honored this sacred process with the diligence and effort that it requires, then we go to our polling place, fill out our ballot, and we vote. We vote. In doing so, we link our spirits to those who came before us and to those who shed their blood for this brilliant and inspired privilege. And then we link arms with our neighbors and try once again to unleash the most powerful force on earth. One nation, united. One nation, with liberty, soul, and justice for all. One nation, indivisible.
Ours is a simple faith. Life is a short embrace. Heaven is in this place every day. Hope is the ground we till. Make each day what you will. Thankful for dreams fulfilled every day. There is no hell to fear, no judgment day drawing near. Trust that inner voice you hear every day. Life's not a goal or race. It's about heart and faith and living a life of grace every day. Ours is a simple faith. Life is a short embrace.
All right. Okay, thank you all. I was wondering if you were one of the people who saw your faces there. Could you just kind of like, maybe we can get where we can see everybody. Could you kind of like raise your hand? I'd sort of like to see. Ramona Scott, good. Heather, Paul Rozicki. Just raise, oh yeah, so Heather Bernash, I know you're in there. Who's that there? Terry? Oh, there's Patsy. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, Annette, you had a featuring role in our promotion. Did you see those, those photos? That's wonderful. Okay, so I want to especially thank Samaj for the, it's a different flavor of Samaj's narration, and she was willing to do that. And so I wanted Samaj to introduce herself to you a bit more fully and to tell us a little bit about an event that she has before we wrap up our event tonight. So Samaj, thank you again so much. Your face is beautiful in the beginning of both of those. And I wondered if you could just, make sure we unmute her and hear from you about your August 13th event too.
Well, I'd like to say hello to everyone, and this was a wonderful experience. And thank you for asking me to be a part of this. I think that it's going to have a tremendous effect. I know it's going to spawn much conversation, that's for sure. The music is beautiful, the photography is beautiful, and the process was a very interesting and engaging process. So thank you again. On August the 13th, at University of Michigan Flint, there's going to be an event featuring my work. It's called Word Power. And 3 panelists, young panelists, which is really exciting, have been deciphering and analyzing and looking at this work. And the moderator is our own Dr. Erica Britt, in the English department. She's a linguist. So it's about how words define us and confine us. It's particularly relevant in this time, as always, but particularly in this time, looking at all types of words in my work and how they relate to the larger environment. And I hope everybody will join us. It's going to be on Zoom, and it's free, and it'll be streamed on Facebook Live, and you can get the link on the English department's website. Yes, from U of M, Flint, or you can also get it if you're Facebook friends with me. You can get it from me as well.
And Samaj, would you tell everybody about your books too that are available while you're?
Sure. Thank you, Jan. I always forget that. All righty. So I have a book called Bleeding Fire, Tap the Eternal Spring of Regenerative Light, and it's available on Amazon. Bleeding Fire, Tap the Eternal Spring of Regenerative Light. And I have a column in the Courier News. It comes out. It's called Poetry Confessions, Tea Time with the Poet Laureate. And I connect everything to tea and poetry and many times social justice issues. And the book, Bleeding Fire, is part memoir, part social commentary, and the other part of it's magical realism. So it's an interesting journey.
And if you ever get a chance to see Samaj perform, it is electrifying. Please don't miss it. She will grab you.
I saw her.
Yeah.
She's wonderful.
Yes.
Thank you. I don't know who said that, but thank you.
We'd like to offer a little bit of opportunity for comments and questions. Before we do, Josh, could you just tell people how to access these videos after we're done tonight if you want to share them? Josh, could you just fill people in on that?
Absolutely. So they are live on our Facebook page, and they're on YouTube now. So now that they've been shown, we have released them to the masses. If you open the chat, I'm going to copy the links so that way you can copy and paste it right into your computer if you want.
Okay.
But also, if you know East Village's Facebook page, you can go there, and it's the last few posts. So that first message is the Facebook link, so it's the main page, video, which is the 6-minute version, and then extended is the 10-minute cut.
Okay.
And I'll do the same with the YouTube links as well. And as Jan and Ted mentioned, these will also be on the East Village website. This is a cool opportunity for us, whether you're on Facebook or if you're not on Facebook, we've got it on YouTube as well. So you can share those videos with folks in your circles. So you can share it directly on Facebook. You can email it, send it out. Please spread the word. It's an incredibly powerful project that I'm humbled to be a small part of. So
we're happy to have you.
Yep. So Facebook and YouTube links are in the chat box.
Okay.
Yeah,
I see them. They're there. So that's great. And I do see that old friends from, I have a history, obviously, don't we all, that goes way back to the 70s. And at least two of my old buddies from the Daily Pilot times were with us tonight. Jackie, you're still there, Jackie? Hillary had to leave, but Jackie is a wonderful journalist. It's so nice to see you. She's been to Flint a couple times, and it's just really great to have you with us tonight.
I'm happy to be here. I'm proud of you.
Thank you, Jackie. Now, go ahead.
Proud of you too, Jen.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we've had some quality time in our sunroom together.
Jan?
Yes.
You know, I don't know if you mentioned Candy Cooper is here as well.
Oh, Candy is? Where's Candy? Speak up, Candy. Where is she? Well, Candy is another fantastic journalist who wrote a book you all know about. Where are you, Candy? Hey, there you are, Candy. So tell us about your book. Tell the group about your book. See, oh, wait a minute. We got to get you unmuted. There. Can you get her unmuted, Josh? Hold on, Candy.
Yep, she should be good.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes. I just happen to have a copy right here. It's called Poison Water, How the Citizens of Flint, Michigan fought for their lives and warned the nation. It's the first children's book. It's aimed at young adults, but I've been told it's very fine as an adult read as well. So it's just come out in the last 2 months. So it has the benefit of more hindsight, perhaps, than some of the other books. So anyhow, I hope it's, go ahead.
And one of your featured young people is, what's the kid's name?
Keyshawn Wade.
Keyshawn Wade, who got a full ride scholarship to Cornell. He's a really interesting young man. So.
He is. He's fabulous kid.
Okay. Did anybody, many of you are still there. Are there any of you that would want to, I've seen some of the chat comments you're making. I appreciate that. Is there anybody that wanted to make any comments about any part of what you've seen tonight, or any feedback for us?
I think it's very moving. I mean, you probably already know that, but it has a very inviting human feel to it. It's very watchable. So I think it's very affecting. I don't quite understand. Are you trying to decide between the two, or you know what? I couldn't hear the introduction, so I may have missed all that.
Okay.
So you don't have to go over that again. I really like the narration in the second, and I like the shorter length of the first as a more effective, work. But I can understand the value of the second one as well. So I don't know how you managed it.
We sort of felt like we didn't want to make a PSA. Like we didn't want it to be just like snappy. And the second one, to be honest, we wanted to be able to show all 130 people. So, I mean, that was our criterion.
I mean, the photographs are wonderful, and I understand. I mean, it would be really hard to edit that down.
Yeah, so I mean, it might not work for everybody. We know the longer one doesn't work for everybody. But in a sense, we kind of did that for Flint. Like we did it for.
Sure.
I know there's a lot of words here, but there's also 130 people in it, and everybody can find themselves, if not in the opening section. So we're not trying to like win the world politically here. We're trying.
But I think you could. I mean, I do think it can resonate anywhere. It's kind of like Flint and what you say about it. It's the anvil of democracy. I mean, I really do think it would play well anywhere in the country, and that's
I
what.
hope so.
Yeah.
I mean, we would like people to use it as a trigger for discussion. We understand that a 10-minute version is an obstacle in the media, because 10 minutes, who's going to give 10 minutes?
Right.
But we felt in our Flint way, we felt kind of stubborn about it. Like, okay, love it or leave it, here it is, and use it as you will. And
yeah.
And the smaller one may be more useful, but even that 6 minutes is a little long for most media too. So we just want people to enjoy it and be touched by it and hope that it does some good.
I think you really achieved that.
Okay. Other comments that anybody wants to make?
Well, this is Jackie, and I thought it had kind of a Ken Burns feel about it, with the beautiful narration and stills and the quality music, the evocative music, patriotic evocative music. I was just really enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
Originally, this was supposed to be shown to audiences on a big screen, but with the pandemic, everything changed. So our disappointment here is when you see this on the big screen, you see the incredible quality of Dan White's photography, and the faces just come alive. So I hope some of you, when you download it, have an opportunity to switch it to your big screen TV if you have one, because it's really beautiful.
Yeah, if you can see it on the big screen. I sometimes watch it, since we finished it, everything. Like, I sometimes watch it before I go to bed, especially that 6-minute one, because it just like soothes me or something. It's like, look at all those beautiful faces. And David, I don't know if he's still with us, but David Tamilevich's song is just so soothing. David, are you still there? Because that song to me is just...
Yes.
Thank you. It's become...
There is one problem with your song, David. I can't get it out of my damn head. A whole day.
Well, I just commented to our audience, to our fans, and told them about this. That song was written after the 2004, presidential selection, and I just wanted something that found common ground, that was beyond politics, beyond religion, just in just the heart of who we are. And that's what I feel this video does. It's like, I just get emotional watching those faces and watching them go from serious to smiling. It's just so uplifting.
I'm so glad you like it. You're a kindred spirit of ours, David, so it makes sense.
Spent a lot of time in Flint.
Yes, I know. I don't know, do you guys know Mustard's Retreat? I've been watching you guys since you used to perform at downtown bars in the 80s. When you had black hair back then, David.
Yes, I did. I did.
Chris Fry's got his hand up. He wanted to say something.
Oh, Chris, yeah.
Hello, Jan. How are you?
Good, Chris. How are you?
I'm doing great. I think that I kind of have a unique sort of perspective on this since I'm my father was a professional photographer, and I worked with him for a good many years. And then I kind of got past that and became a television director. So I have a unique perspective on this whole thing. And I want to encourage you next spring to enter this into the local Emmy Awards. The Michigan Emmy Awards is, it comes up in the spring, and you can find a website. It's natas.org, I believe. And
okay.
I would encourage you to enter. Now, personally, I like the second one.
Did you? Tell us why. Because I think it's...
Well, the first one seemed short to me for some odd reason, and I just thought that the second, the longer version, it spoke to me more.
Yeah.
And the music is great. Samaj's narration is terrific. Not that yours wasn't good too, Ted. I mean, it was. but I preferred Samaj's narration, and the more people that I saw, and it really had little to do with the fact that I know a good many of them.
Right.
But I enjoyed them both, and I think this is award winning.
Oh, thank you.
And I certainly am going to share on my Facebook page, and hopefully it'll get, and I have friends across the country, so hopefully it'll listen.
Okay. That's one thing I liked about it. Like, I'm pretty non-authoritarian. I hope that the writers on East Village Magazine would agree with me on that. And I didn't care who we had on those photos. When Dan White came to town, many of you know him, he didn't care if they were big shots or little shots, or, you know, he just wanted interesting faces. So he had a couple of people when he was at the farmer's market that were just like going downstairs in the farmer's market and saying, hey, you want to come up and get your picture taken? And they were looking for faces that they thought were interesting. So some of those people, you know, like Ray Barton or Steve Branch or Samaj, there were people there, and BB was in there, Valerie, as I'm sure you saw. So there are people in there that are, Heather is well known and running for office now, so be sure to vote for, I'm not gonna say who to vote for, but Heather is running for judge. So a lot of those people are known, but we didn't care about that in a way. You know what I'm saying? We didn't want it to be like, oh, there's the mayor, or, you know, we're going to have one person from the county commission and one from the school board. And that wasn't it. And it really pleases me that we had, I think, a pretty good, you know, mix of all kinds of different people. So.
One of the early pieces of feedback we got, strangely enough, was the problem with this film is that there's nothing about Flint. And I was rather flabbergasted when I heard that, because that's all it is.
Yeah.
Faces of Flint.
Yeah. Yeah, that's all we wanted. I mean, people have heard the stories of Flint ad nauseum about the water crisis and everything. And when it came down to it, we wanted to just say, look, these are our friends. These are our neighbors. These are the people of this city. Look at
this is Flint.
Yeah, look at these beautiful faces. And so.
Jan?
Yeah.
Remember you were asking if Eric McIntyre was here?
Yeah, he was, I think.
He is.
Oh, okay.
So I just wanted to tell you that.
Okay.
Because I scrolled through and I saw he was there.
Samaj, hold that thought, because I see you got your hand up. Eric is another fantastic musician, if you know him. He's been doing concerts on the front porch of his house in Carriagetown all through the pandemic. And he also has been managing now to do some gigs in Ann Arbor. But Eric, tell us about the Smoking Dandies, if you're there.
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Cool. About the Smoking Dandies, you say?
Yeah.
So I will zoom out a little bit and just say that I'm kind of a hired gun and I work with a handful of different groups. The Smoking Dandies is one group that I put together, and it's kind of, it's sort of musical chairs. Like there's different people that play with me every time.
Mm-hmm.
But the idea of that band is we play fun, hot music from the 1920s and 30s mostly. So it's usually, I play guitar, and then I usually have a variety of horn players along with a string bass usually. And so I play with that group around town, but it ebbs and flows. Sometimes other groups I'm with are busier, which is the case right now. But regarding this project, I mean, you asked me to be involved basically like right as everything was getting shut down.
Right.
And so, you know, my routine of playing 3 to 7 gigs a week, all of a sudden just completely vanished. So that combined with just all the uncertainty and sort of stress of the state of affairs made being involved in this project like even more emotional and kind of profound for me, because it's like I had nothing else going on.
Yeah.
And also I was just like, what is happening in the world right now?
Yeah.
And so so I just remember when I was talking with you and then working on how I might arrange the music, I don't know, I was very in it because
yeah, you were,
you know, it was just really, it became like a very personal thing for me, you know. And
I remember you came over to our house before the shutdown and you played America the Beautiful for us at our dining room table, and it was just, it was emotional.
Yeah. Right. And it was just like a simple, I mean, I just kept it pretty simple, you know, it was just background behind the narration, but still, yeah, I don't know, there was just something really powerful about being involved with this at this specific time.
At this time, yeah. Well, we love you, Eric, and we're so glad that you joined us on this.
Me too.
The Smoking Dandies did a concert at MacArthur Hall in the Flint Institute of Music. Who's your guy in France that you were honoring? I always forget.
Oh yeah, so it was a tribute to Django Reinhardt.
Yeah,
who,
yeah. That was a fantastic concert.
That was a lot of fun. It was like a blizzard outside, but we got a pretty good turnout anyway. And yeah, so that was fun. That was my first faculty concert as a teacher at the FIM. So.
Samaj, you wanted to say something more, please. Oh, can we unmute Samaj? Hold on, Samaj. We don't hear you. Okay. Okay, now we can hear you.
Thank you so much. I was thinking about both of the renditions, both of them, and one being the one I recorded was prior to COVID. And and I was wrestling with this project. It wasn't an easy project for me. It was very, very challenging because I am a Black woman in America. And when I was reading Ted's beautiful words, he's such a fabulous writer, and I am in love with words. They are hypnotic. And I was reading them, and I cried when I was at home. I really looked at them because it was all aspirational. Because America has not been the beautiful to me.
Yeah, right.
It never has been, and it is not now. And so I wondered, as a woman of my consciousness, being a part of the African diaspora, how do I reconcile and reckon with this? And when people ask me, what are you doing, Samaj? How do I explain it to myself and to my children that I teach? And so Ted had said when we were all meeting, he said, well, it's aspirational. I said, yes, it is aspirational. And so when I was just listening now, and I was listening to his words, and I know the words to America the Beautiful, because when I was in the 6th grade, I wrote a paper countering it in the 6th grade. And I got in a lot of trouble and all of those kinds of things.
Good trouble, right? Good John Lewis
trouble. Good trouble, exactly. And so with all of that, I do think you can't deny the aesthetics. It's an absolutely beautiful project, and it's riveting, from the photography, from the music, all the music, and it's just and how it's put together. It really pulls at you, but it pulls at me for different reasons.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't exist. For me, it is a narration of a dream that never happened. And so that's the way when I talk to my community, as I share this, that I imagine that there should be workshops on it. It should be a real teaching experience, because Ted's words are magnificent. They're beautiful, and they're hurtful at the same time, because if one reads it literally, then one could be left hollow if there's no context put to it. And so I think my challenge would be for people who listen to me or talk to me about it, is to put context to it.
Right.
Yeah, sounds good.
I think it's important.
Yeah. Those are such important comments, Samaj.
Well, thank you. They're hard comments.
I know.
They're hard comments for me to make, because it's such a glorious thing. Who wants to be the one in the room saying, but?
No, there should be a but there. I mean, we didn't expect that this would be a perfect expression. And we hope that it would be triggering. I don't know if we should use the word triggering anymore, but it should be a stimulating opportunity to talk about where we're all coming from. So I appreciate, with your misgivings, that you still were willing to engage with this project. And it matters even more that you're now willing to express some of your misgivings as we move forward with it. So can we find a way, I wonder, to make it into a teaching tool moving forward? I hope we can.
I hope so too. It's a very beautiful project, and the one should be challenged. So I was challenged, and I was increased. So I thank you for that.
Thank
so
you,
much.
Sanaj. It is 8:02. I think we have covered everything that we hope to cover. Is everybody clear about how you access? And there's a kitty coming in too, so the cat's saying it's time to round it up. Oh yeah, somebody else wants to speak there. That's who's got her hand up there?
I have my hand up, but Jan, let me just kind of, I want to say that I agree with Samaj 100%.
Yeah.
Because I've always kind of felt that America is a dream that hasn't quite been fulfilled.
Yeah.
And, we have our ups, we have our downs, and we try our best, but there's always setbacks.
Yeah.
And America is a dream that is yet to be fulfilled, and I hope to see it fulfilled before I leave this place.
Good luck. Raina.
Jan?
Yeah.
It's a phenomenal film. I mean, you did a beautiful job, but if the focus is supposed to be maybe encouraging people to vote, because it does have a good message, and of course I'm a League of Women Voters member.
Right.
How are you hoping to use this to help promote voting?
Well, we're hoping that the League of Women Voters would show it on your channels. And as you saw, we included the 411 information there.
Right. I was glad that you did that, but people need to see that in order to get the message.
Right.
Oftentimes, an emotion that one has is the motivation for doing something. And this film is basically not so much ideas and stuff as conveying a feeling and saying, we are in trouble, we are better together, we should vote.
No, but the point is the distribution and showing of this film, making sure that people see it, because it's wonderful.
Right.
All the aspects people mention, I agree totally. The filming, the pictures, but it's the distribution I'm concerned about.
Do you think that the League of Women Voters, I sent out, Linda Hoff has it. Could we maybe talk afterwards about how to maximize the distribution?
Well, possibly, yeah.
Okay.
I'm not too much on distribution, but I'm just curious as to how it's going to happen.
Right. Okay. It's something we need to work on for sure.
Right. It's too good not to be seen.
Thank you, Raina. Other comments?
Real quick, Terry here. Just real quick, I put a comment in the chat, but I want to say it while everyone's still online.
Okay.
I would like to suggest: is the election Friday?
The election is Tuesday.
Tuesday. That's right.
The primary is Tuesday. Yeah.
So I said Wednesday, but sometime, maybe Sunday morning and Monday evening, early 5 to 7, we should all post this thing on our page. And then everybody comment or like whenever they see it from somebody else, and then it'll go viral. And I would challenge, I'm absolutely sure there's nobody I know that doesn't know somebody in that video.
Right. Yeah.
I mean,
good idea.
Maybe even make it a game and say, how many people do you know in this video?
Yeah.
Just play with a little bit. I don't know. It's just a thought.
I like that idea. Please do it.
I will.
We're giving it out to the world. What happens to it now is up to the world. So
make it available free of charge, no problems, just take it.
And discuss it, pick it apart, argue with it. It's fine by me. It's fine by me.
think it'll spread like COVID.
Oh, geez, Betsy. Well, again, I think we're going to round this up. Is William Harvey still with us? William Harvey, I just wanted to say thanks to him coming to us from Mexico. And I wanted to thank him for that heartbreaking version of the Star Spangled Banner. We love you all. We're so glad that you joined us tonight, and spread it around. That's what it's for. So we love you for participating tonight. So I think we're done.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
All right. Guys, have a good night.
Have a good night. Thank you for joining us.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.